Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, whatever part of the world you are, and welcome to the Inspired Poetry Corner. This is a monthly recital that's held on the third Sunday of each month, and it has become the poetic service of the third Sunday of every month, where poetry becomes the religion where we come and share openly and with loving ears and hearts. And today we have an amazing feature. I will do the introduction, and I will also cut and paste into the chat the list of performers and what order you're going. I know we have people from around the world, so I'm going to try to get people in different time zones to get on early. You know, like my friend Alexandra, she's, I think it's what, 5 in the morning, or now after 5 in the morning, although you might be getting up now. There's other people like my friend Yanni, it's I guess it's what, almost 10:30 where you are. So once again,
5:20 in Greece.
5:20 in Greece is, yeah. So what I'm saying is that I'll try and get everyone else early on. And if you do have to leave because it is your bedtime, please do not feel bad if you have to leave. I will do my best to make sure everyone is spotlighted. Hopefully Zoom is acting accordingly today. So if we're ready to go, I invite you to sit back, get comfortable, whatever your beverages, have your poems ready, but most importantly, just ready yourself to enjoy the next couple of hours of us being together and sharing openly. So today we have the distinct honor of featuring someone from where I was born, from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. But before I get into that, the genesis of a poem for me is usually a cluster of words. The only good metaphor I can think of is a scientific one, dipping a thread into the supersaturated solution to induce crystal formations. I don't think I solve problems in my poetry. I think I uncover the problems. Margaret Atwood. And I started with that poem because every time I hear this woman's poetry, I always feel like I'm getting a commentary on life. Today we have the honor of featuring Angie from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. But Angie is an interesting person. She's a mother, a wife. She simply just loves to create, whether it's molding children or making mouth-watering dishes. Innovations in her design for clothing, painting, making craft, creative writing. She just loves to create. Angie is a bit of an innovator and an entrepreneur as well. She started her own daycare and preschool where she helps young ones become leaders through early childhood education. She started a Facebook group called Creations and Beyond that has just blown up over the last year or so. And she's also a manufacturer of children's clothing. This woman is just, her desire is just to create, and to hopefully her creations will inspire others to do the same, into living their authentic self and to becoming better people. So it is my great honor to welcome to the mic our poet from Trinidad and Tobago, Angie.
Good morning, everyone. After that awesome introduction, there's nothing much for me to say again. But I guess I don't need to introduce myself, but it's really my privilege to be here. To be given this is truly a gift of time this morning, to be able to speak my thoughts and to be listened to by a lot of my friends who are in this group right now, and some new poets. Okay, so I must thank the Inspired Poetry Corner Recital for being this Inspired Poetry Corner Recital was the first place I recited my poem, right, under Mr. Raleigh, who has really appreciated my work and encouraged me in opening my voice, because writing is one thing, but speaking is another thing. It's a whole different level of poetry. So thank you, Mr. Raleigh. Right. Um, so well, my poetical journey is fairly new. It's just about a year and a half that I've been writing. I've written hundreds of poems. So I don't know if you all want me to get into it now, or Mr. Raleigh, you have anything you want to ask before I get started?
Nope. Just you
Okay.
can start reciting, and then we'll
Start
ask questions.
reciting?
Yep, and then we'll ask
Okay.
questions. I know you, Angie, before you start, I know you're nervous. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very, very first feature of any kind. So she's nervous. I always tell people, embrace the nerves. Nerves lets you know you're about to do something important. So just let it fly, and then we'll ask questions afterwards.
Okay.
Just enjoy.
Okay, so I'm going to recite the third poem I ever wrote first, okay? It's called The Forgotten Language of Creation. Now, this is a poem that every morning when I get up before I go to work, I would sit in my hammock. And this basically is the scene that I would see as I drink my coffee in my hammock. So here goes. The forgotten language of creation, where harmony exists in the stubble, gentle swaying of the breeze, gliding through the treetops, creating natural chords of musical notes. The upright stature of the flowers as they soak in the morning dew. The buzz of the worker bee as they flutter from flower to flower, ensuring procreation of all flowering plants. The whistle of the blue jays sweetly giving their morning greeting of light and love, peace and harmony. The brisk play of the squirrels as they jump and run from the trunk of the starch mango tree to the top and back again in carefree, frolicking delight. The scent of the lovers as they sit in silence, basking in the morning sunlight, immersed in the aroma of their morning coffee. The warmth of the sun creeping through the dark clouds, peaking, rising, glowing, sending magnificent rays to the whole of creation, tenderly touching as if kissing everything to say, morning, you're alive, wake up and smile. So that used to be my morning time, my me time. And those are the things I would see while I sit in my hammock and drink my coffee. Okay? So I'm trying to do different types of poetry because I write differently. Sometimes I write for different groups with prettier prompts. Sometimes the words come from inside me. I don't know the words, they just fly out and I write. Sometimes I make up the poetry. Sometimes I have to look in Google to get words. Every poem is different. So I'm just going to do a few that is different so you get a little essence of who and what I am. So this one is a bit long. It was written while I was in the waiting room. My husband was in the hospital and I was in the waiting room. And I started to write this one on my phone. So my husband is a stroke patient. So it's a long road. So this is the one I wrote. It's called Grief. Grief for what is and never was, the illusions of life. Longing, it's that simple. Longing for the pleasure of the nature walks on the mountain and around the many ponds near our home. Hours spent looking at the beauty of nature, the fields of purple flowers nestled in the shade of the gulab jamun trees, orange cutlass flowers in their watery beds surrounding the alligator pond. The shining light where the eyes of mother alligator kept vigil of her young ones while searching for food between the lilies on the pond. The whistling of the blue jays on the tops of the trees, throwing the line in hopes of catching a tilapia or two. The excitement of the pull with the bite on the line. Breathing in clean, fresh air infused with the aroma of the guava as they lay encircling the grove of trees. gathering different varieties of flowers, purple, yellow, orange, white, and blue to decorate our home. Longing for the drives to the beach, visiting the numerous beaches around our beautiful island. Many days spent fishing, playing cards, cooking over the fireside with friends and family. Longing to be the comfortable observer in your scenarios, or the silent partner in crime, for the sound of your laughter as you crack another crazy joke. Always the life of the party, the organizer, the trickster, the fun side of me. Longing for the spirit of you, celebrating every and any event, national holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, enjoying life without a care for tomorrow. Now you sit and wait for me to come home. No jokes, no laughter, a fight to remember the words that came so easily before, like a child waiting for the parent to bring gifts or the evening meal. Sometimes the thought comes to my mind that if I wasn't so willpowered, if I was weak, you would have found the inner strength to fight. Then the despair of you not wanting to try, as if we weren't good enough. Grief for not fitting into that life that is no more. Time stayed in that capsule. Condolences of friends overtake the jolly banter of years gone by, waiting for the good times to begin again. But no, this hell lingers on. Grief grips you, fills you with emotion. Periods of acute shooting pain as you battle the angel of death. Relieved to be able to breathe again as you revive battle one, ongoing circle of your life. Grief for dreams never realized, plans made left unfulfilled, waste of the many talents and abilities you possess. Your way with words that can make people believe anything you see. Your love for cooking, which allowed you to create delectable dishes loved by all. Miss the parts of you that gave life to me. It's in my nature to be busy at all times. You stopped time to share the true essence of life with me. You always believed in me. You pulled me out of my dark corners, showed me the beauty in all nature. Back when your heart was pure, when you weren't afflicted with sickness, even when I didn't believe in myself, you would say to others, she will do it. Don't worry. And I did. You were there when I needed someone, whatever your reasons were. Sorry I couldn't be the way you wanted. I couldn't be your dream. I was always my own dream. You followed my every dream, forsaking your own. The end. It was a bit long. Okay, so maybe I should do a fun one.
Do whatever you want. It's your
Do
time.
whatever I want.
It's your time.
Okay.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Keep going.
Thank you. Let me just find the one on crickets and I will do that one so we'll liven up things a bit because that one is a bit sad. There's so many to find. 2 minutes. Crickets.
Can I just say that can you hear me?
Yes.
I
Yes,
just wanted
Celia.
to thank Angie for sharing that poem because it's not easy to share a journey like that. And you articulated grief so, like all the different aspects of it, how it affected you, the friends, the family, himself. Takes a lot of courage to share something like that. And really, really good work. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll do a simple one. This one is called Stillness. Come, Amelia. Amelia wants to join. She just got up. Everyone, this is my daughter, Amelia. She's my biggest fan.
Hi, Amelia.
Okay, so this one is called stillness. Stillness, to be perfectly calm in the center of all things, to be aware of the subtle vibration, the unseen micro movements, to see with the eyes of the soul, all awareness engrossed in the frequency of movement, through space and time, constantly changing levels of frequency, to observe creation in a multitude of variations, simultaneously growing and expanding in its form, remembering the knowledge of each point of creation, to be formless yet in all forms, thoughtless yet in all thoughts, timeless yet exist in all time, to vibrate in the vibration of peace and external love, to be, to exist in stillness. The end. Okay, this one is called I Will Not Go There. I will not go there, will not fall into the trap, not thinking of that experience, fall into that bottomless pit, into the fires of hell, the endless cycle of evil, trapped into being exploited, thinking capsule in time, or never-ending helplessness that rages throughout my body. Experience has taught me fortitude. Bottomless pit's only salvation is going upward. The strength is forged. Fires ignite the flames of passion. Hell is one's own making. Endlessness craves change. Cycle of life changes. Evil as evil be, without thought, does not exist. Being is guided by feelings. Capsules are broken. Time is a healing concept. Never ending is strength. Helplessness is no longer here as the fires rage on. Throughout my being, I am strong. My body a mere instrument to be played. I will play this instrument, not be played by others. Go where best serves me. There will turn into my stage. The end. Okay, this one is a short one. You just let me know if I'm running out of time, okay?
You're good.
Because I could read on and on. Okay, this one is called You Came. You came, I'm slowly coming back to life. Worlds open, dreams renew, excitement begins. This is life. Under your watchful gaze, I see only you. Time, non-existent, no light, no dark, only your presence felt. The vibrance of your presence glimmers as a soft glow. Confident in your security, I lift my head and open my eyes. The light within shines through, clearing the darkness out of my mind. Visions of lost desires are rekindled. I am free to dream, free to be me. My muse is here. I can do anything as the thoughts flow. The possibilities are endless. Life is renewed. Thank you.
Just for your own internal timing, Angie, you got about 5-6 minutes left, so you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do this one. Realm of the cosmos. We exist in the realm of the cosmos. Our being has many forms. Our spiritual form, our soul, consciousness form, and our human form. Infinite possibilities is the manifestations of our gifts of free will. We are free to live as any of these entities as we choose. Yes, the choice is ours. We can live in the spiritual realm in the area known as space, outer space, or air in our planet, all within the realm of the cosmos. Trust vibrating our sound waves and flowing endlessly. Waves on waves changing direction as it is obstructed by friction of other waves. You feel the sense of the spirit as you observe a sunset or a sunrise. In being in the flow of nature, when you hug a tree, the timeless sounds of the earth. Placing your palm on the ground, the vibration pulses through your hands. We can choose to join with that vibrating energy source and become part of God, or we can enter a human body suit and experience a spiritual life in a human form. We can choose to live within the confines of God, that energy source in the cosmos, existing in the frequency's natural state of being, love. Being aware of all creations in the infinite possibilities of thought, visions, and dreams, all comprising of their own reality. Blissfully happy to be sparks and ignite into flames of love, to witness each and every moment of an experience in all the realms of the cosmos with the all-seeing eye. We can choose to live as an extraterrestrial being in another planet or on Earth, believing on a greater power that rules us, traveling through time and space, searching for the meaning of life in material entities hidden in magical objects, searching for this mysterious, elusive thing in every planet we explore, things that shine and mirrors our feelings, things that speak our language, looking to procreate and expand our race, looking for a way back home. We choose to live as humans, sent out as sparks or fragments of God to experience the physical realities of life. We have the ability to understand all the realms. We choose to combine all three states of being to truly experience all the infinite possibilities life has to offer. What is in this form, we can physically move and create the infinite possibilities, using the waves of feelings from our spirit, weaving together our thoughts, visions, and dreams from our consciousness. We make our physical realities, integrating our human form as an instrument. Our only limitation is that our physical brain doesn't believe in ourselves and our power within. We are driven by the basic needs of our physical body. We engross ourselves fulfilling these needs whilst craving to find more meaning to our life. That craving comes from our consciousness asking to be fed. Some think about improving the quality of their life by experimenting with other activities. Some question their cultural upbringing, feeling they don't fit in. We become joyful when we discover a way of thinking that clicks, like pulling the final piece of this puzzle. Even if everyone around us thinks differently, our spirit, soul, emotions run wild. As our awareness increases, we open ourselves to believe in infinite possibilities. Our vision is in direct alignment with our understanding of the cosmos. You can choose to believe everything is an illusion. Your body doesn't exist. It's all Maya. The cosmos doesn't exist. We are all nothing. Nothing being nothing, or you come from nothingness, and you will go back to nothingness. No need to better the human body, just exist. Everything that can happen has already happened. Nothing can be changed. You can think you are consciousness and you only need consciousness. You are not a body. Another perception, we come from God and we have to obey God to go back to God in heaven, or there is no God. Beliefs in heaven and hell, God and Lucifer. Some believe we are all connected to the divine love. We are here to be loved, to unite with twin flame or their soulmate. Again, many believe they are here to change the world. Yet there are others who hold no such belief and don't know why they exist. The choice is yours. You can choose to be a spirit, you can choose to be consciousness, or you can choose to be a combination of all three, working together to become the greatest thing ever existed within the realm of the cosmos, a human being, having the full experiences, utilizing all emotions fully, exploring every feeling through the infinite possibilities of thoughts, visions, and dreams, creating and performing the greatest show in the cosmos. The end. That was a deep one. Nice.
That was beautiful. You have time if you want to do one more.
Okay, I just open a book.
End off with a bang. That was a really good one right there. So
Uh-huh. I got the cricket one. Okay, good. The games we played out on the yard, pelting the ball, praying to hit the wicket, swinging the bat in the hopes of touching the ball, tying it upward in the air, spreading through the hand, sorry, tying it upward in the air, spreading our hands as they missed and fell on the ground, running to the wicket before the ball hits hoop. The game of cricket, played by two, played by many, to be part of a team, every player with his own role, bowler, batsman, wicketkeeper, fielder, umpire. The thrill and excitement at every stage. Following the ball. Who has it? The bowler, the wicketkeeper? Did the strategy of the batsman win? Is the fielder flying up in the air to catch the ball or rolling on the ground, the ball secured in his hand? The aches and pains hidden through victory with a smile, the comradeship, the fun, the sense of belonging, the shouts of hit it, run, catch the ball, or you out, next man, heated discussion of he out or the ball did not touch the wicket, the feeling of the sun gleaming down the backs of the players, the water breaks, the changing of the team, the batting team and the fielding team, changing their strategy, implementing new tactics. Game on. Both triumph and defeat near. Commentary chatter. Wasn't that the best batting you have ever seen? Which player got bowled out of a duck? Who scored more runs? How many sixes and fours did you see that? The excitement of the game. The end.
oh my gosh.
Try to do a fun one
You
after
use
all the big
cricket,
poems.
you use cricket as a metaphor for life. I love it. Guys, unmute and show us some love. What a fantastic reading. Oh my God.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's beautiful.
I
Very
think I
interesting.
saw
Waiting room. Oh,
TA made a comment of
yes,
philosophy
some
poet,
writing.
consciousness poet. How do you feel right now, Angie?
Oh, I'm happy. I could read more. I'm so comfortable. I feel at home when I'm in these groups,
Yeah,
honestly.
Thank you for sharing your work with us.
yes.
I write for many different genres.
Mhm.
So it have a few more genres, but there's not enough time. So maybe as we continue with other recitals, you all will hear it.
What other genres do you write?
Well, I do have love poems. I have poems fixated on different, like you write about different objects. You write about a
Well,
flower, metaphors, different things.
I'm
But
gonna
I
do
love
this.
the soul poems.
I'm gonna speak for the group and call for an encore. You get to do one more. You
One
get
more?
one more.
What kind do you want?
What does the crowd say? What does the crowd want? A love poem, another consciousness poem?
Can we have a poem from your daughter?
From my daughter,
We'll keep trying to get
she
her on.
just wrote about 3 poems. And the big one, I was told that to bring some of her paintings. So the big one she paints. This is one of her paintings.
Nice.
Nice. That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
It's really nice paintings. This is just one.
That's her poetry. Oh, there's another one.
Yes, this one is a lotus flower. She has many paintings.
Beautiful.
Very talented.
This one is mine. I did this one. I did this. I don't know if many of you all know what Shivratri is. The birthday of Lord Shiva, one of our Hindu gods. So I did this for his birthday last year,
Beautiful.
right? And it's the beginning painting of my Creations and Beyond group.
Well, it's funny when you were reading that this one you're showing fell off and hit you on the shoulders. To me,
Oh,
it was
wow.
the universe. Well, it was the universe saying, "Keep going. You're doing a
This is
great job."
basically the different planets.
Yeah. Beautiful work.
And this one is a picture for our Creations and Beyond's profile.
Nice.
So this one is mine.
Nice.
So, but she does a lot of different work. She does not write poetry, but she paints a lot.
Well, her poetry is painting. Yeah.
Yes.
Comes out
And
of it.
I use her paintings to do my writings, and I post them on Creations and Beyond.
Beautiful.
And everyone here is welcome to join Creations and Beyond and post your wonderful work.
Okay, so you can do one more and end off. This is your encore, Angie.
Okay. I just have to find one. Many books. Okay. This one I had written for my daughter. So it's called Right Here Waiting. I'm right here waiting. When you are lost and alone, look back and you will see me. When all roads are exhausted, close your eyes and see me. I am right here waiting for you to remember I was here at the beginning. At all your first, I'll be there till my end. If you choose, I'll be walking along with you hand in hand. The bond we share can never end. The light may dim, but never disappear. Lose the thoughts and let the feelings flow. I judge not all the vibe you send. I'm right here waiting. My message is clear. Whatever it takes, you will see the signs. Codes etched in time. Return and rest your weary head. Tomorrow is a new adventurous day. The end.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Unmute, guys. Give her a big hand. Big hand.
There's another one was written just maybe 2 weeks after, similar. I would like to read that one, if you don't mind.
Last one.
Okay. Right. Yeah. This one was written before that. She loves me then. She loved me then. I saw it mirrored in her eyes, in the way they twinkled and sparkled as they looked at me. The wanting to be close to me, creating moments filled with activities which we can share, springing little nothings she knows I like. My favorite chocolate picked me up, a flower freshly picked and handled with care, a bottle of water reminding me to make time to drink it. I saw it in her effervescent smile after I made a remark or two, the willingness to make unnecessary conversations, sharing witted jokes and gestures. She loved me then. I saw it in her stance, the way she walked towards me, in the bounds of her step, the lightness of her movements. Circumstances took her away from me. Now the avoidance, no meeting of the eyes. passing by like a shadow in the light. Cooked meals left uneaten on the table. The chocolate appears as if by magic, as if by a magical elf on special occasions. No more moments to make wonderful memories. Yet there is hope if need be. She'll be just a message away. She loved me then. Now she's just bounded by duty. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angie. Thank you so much. What a powerful reading. Well done.
Thank you.
Still feeling good? How was your
Yes,
first?
thanks for having me.
How was your first feature?
So far, I have not listened to anybody else, but I really love it. I hope you don't lose it.
Well, right now I'm saving it on
Save it.
iCloud. So exactly. So it's not on my computer, it's on iCloud. So I'll export it later. But no, that was like I said, I love listening to your work, your prose, your observation on life. Every time I hear you reciting, I feel like I'm getting a slice of life from a different perspective. So I'm grateful for that. So I just have a couple of questions to ask you before we get the other poets going. So what inspired you to start writing? When did you start writing?
I started writing by accident. I met this friend on Facebook, Michael Everett, and I started commenting on his posts, right? And commenting on his posts, my comments kept getting longer and longer. And it turned out to be like poetry. So I started posting on my personal page. And I just started writing and I could not stop the writing. Sometimes I would be in work and I would just have to find a pen and just scribble. But those are the ones that come from inside. You don't know what you're writing, it just goes.
Just flows.
Right? Yeah, it just flows. And sometimes you read comments from other people and it sparks something. So I always have to have my phone nearby or paper and I just write. It's crazy. Sometimes you scribble, you don't know what you scribble.
Yeah.
You have to try to remember what it is you scribble.
Yeah.
So that's how my writing goes.
I can
So
relate to that. I can
I've been
sometimes
writing
I can't,
hundreds of
Yeah.
writings.
and sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting because
Exactly. So that's now I try to do it on the phone. So then you could remember what you say.
So
Because
when
a
you
lot of
write,
Uh-huh.
what are you feeling when you're writing?
It's something, sometimes it's like a trance that you go into and the words just flow. But when you write for picture prompts, like I kind of stopped doing this because it shows off the writing that comes from me. So I used to write for a lot of printer prompts on groups and you get certificates and stuff for it. But it shows you from your real writing that comes from inside you. Because you have to focus on the picture and write about that. So that to me is good and everything. You do get a lot of awards, but it's not really you. It's a different level of you.
Okay.
My writings, I like the ones that come from deep inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I say I get these downloads, but it's the same thing. We have these, similar. We all have very similar processes. You also, I know we've talked before, and I know you cook a lot. So, what would you consider to be a real Trini dish? When I say Trini, for those of you who don't know, when people from Trinidad and Tobago, or don't think people from Tobago call others Trini, but when I say Trini, that's what I mean. So, what if someone was saying, "Tell me what's your favorite Trini dish?" What would you say?
Well, I'm vegetarian, but I know that a Trini dish should be like callaloo, crab, callaloo, provision. But I love to eat callaloo with provision.
The provision.
And provision being cassava, dasheen, edus, fig, that kind of thing. Yeah. But everybody else would use meat. Right? So my husband does a lot of the cooking.
Okay.
Although he's like he cooks.
He still cooks.
But, yeah, he loves to cook.
Okay. You have a favorite word?
Not necessarily. I like all words.
Yeah. What's your favorite sound?
I would think would be the early morning when you get up, the first sound you hear. Yeah, exactly. I love to listen to the Blue Jays in the mornings.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than Trinidad, is there other part of the world you would like to consider living, or?
I love Trinidad, but no, I just love Trinidad.
You just
I've
love-
been to the States, but I love Trinidad.
Right.
I'm not about where I am. I'm in this stage of my life. I'm about who I am, not where I live.
Gotcha.
Not even what I do, but who I am.
It's a great answer. Great answer. Is there a noise that you really don't like? I asked you what your favorite sound is, but what noise? What would you say is a noise that you really do not like at all?
No idea.
Okay. Just don't have to have an answer for it. I'm just
No,
trying to get
that's-
I ask these questions because I think a lot of times we ask traditional questions. I like to ask questions to give people a different insight. And for those that are listening, for those that don't know Angie, I invite you to reach out to her. She's very welcoming and get to know her. One of the things I love about this recital is the way people connect, just like I'm sure with other venues as well, bringing people together. So it's a great opportunity for us to all connect. I'll ask you one last question before we move on.
Okay.
If heaven is real, if heaven does exist, not real, and you're approaching the pearly gate, what would you want God to say to you when you get to the pearly gates?
No, what would I want him to say? Um, that's a good question. To me, I think God is always with me, and we always in conversation with one another. So there's literally no separation.
Right.
So we talk to each other every second, I guess. So I guess basically we enjoy the ride. I know he's having fun with me. I have fun with him also. I consider God my friend.
Love that
He
answer.
does things to me, I do things to him.
Right.
We're friends. So we know each other so much, there's no need for conversation.
Right.
I'm being bad here, right?
No, not at
So, but
all.
there's basically no need for conversation because we're that close.
The reason why I ask
We
these
laugh at
questions,
each other all the time.
so you're not, see, I'm like with you. We're never disconnected. So we're always connected, always in
I
conversation.
actually have a poem with that.
Yeah.
Where we laughed at each other.
Yeah.
I'll recite that in another recital.
Definitely. These types of questions, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you feel, whatever you think. It's just a way of getting to understand people in a different way. So it's your answer.
Right.
I don't have a canned answer. Oops, sorry, she didn't
No.
check
The answers
this
will be
box.
different anyway.
Exactly.
Everybody's answer would be different. Yeah.
Everyone's answer is going to be different, and that's the beauty of it. So anyway, Angie, I wanted to thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming into my life how many months ago, and over the little bit of time we've getting to know each other. I enjoy our conversations when we have them. And thank you for honoring us and being, this is your first feature here at the Inspired Poetry Corner. And it's been an interesting journey. You were there when we first launched this. I don't know, when was it? December last year, I guess. I can't even remember now. So, and now to working with you and doing the open mic for Creation and Beyond, I'm just grateful for your friendship. And more importantly, like I said, every time I hear your words, I always feel like I'm getting an insight to life in many different ways, whether it's spiritual, emotional, mental, and even physical today with your cricket poetry. So because to me, sports is just a microcosm of life. So I love the fact that you use that one. So thank you so much, guys. Unmute and give us some big love, please.
I just want to say thank you, Raleigh, because you brought out my voice. My friend Michael Everett brought out my writing, and you brought out my voice. So there's two people I'm forever thankful for.
Oh,
thank you so much.
I appreciate you saying that. I just opened the door for you, my friend. You're the one that walked through, and you didn't walk through, you kicked it down, and it's just, I do. One of the reasons I started this back with Richard, I don't know, like I said, I think it was December when we did the first show. I love reading people's poetry, and I get invites to read people's poetry almost every day. Can't read them all, can't always comment on them all, but reading is one thing, but then speaking it and hearing the poets that pen these words and hearing their voices brings it to life in a different way. So yeah, thank you. We're the one that's honored and blessed to have you here today. So we're all wrapping you with love and giving you a big hug and a big kiss on the cheek and saying thank you for this. Well done. Well done. I hope others that put on shows, that do features, invite Angie to be featured, because I think your words are brilliant. So,
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, poets, for your understanding, for being here, for just providing a space where Angie and others could shine, and that we can all benefit from this gathering. All right, so we will continue on with the Not Ready for Primetime Poets. Someone asked me the other day, what does that mean? That's an old reference from Saturday Night Live, the Not Ready for Primetime Players. When I was putting this together, for some reason that was stuck in my head when I was debating whether I should do an open mic or do a recital, and I decided to go the recital way, and I wanted other poets to support the feature, so that's where that came from, the Not Ready for Primetime Poets. So it's a play on words because you're all ready for prime time. Like I said, many of you have been reciting for a while. Some of you are still newer to it, but ultimately it's about us sharing our poetry and supporting the feature act of the day. So, all right, I will call upon my good friend from Greece. It is now what, 6:05 Monday? No, what time is it? 6:05?
Afternoon, PM.
Afternoon, yeah, something like that. In Greece, I will ask Alexandra to take the mic. If you are unmuted, please mute yourself. I'll double check, but Alexandra, let me just, you should be able to share screen. Hold on one second. Okay, you should be good to go.
Okay. So you can see the graphics going by.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Flying 3 from the Flying series. Happiness is flowing. Happiness is flowing to me. It's okay, there is happiness even in pain. There is sense even in losing it. Even if you have fallen from earth all the way down to hell, you know that the way up is always open, and you hope and you know you can make it. You will make it higher, even higher, all the way up to heaven very soon. Higher, even higher, all the way up the path of the sacred marriage. Higher, even higher, all the way up into all that is us, into all that is our magical world, into the highest love and pleasure, into the highest soul and body union, into supreme happiness, flying home, unique to us, all visions becoming reality, all dreams coming true more beautifully than you ever imagined. Being there, just trusting, just knowing, so surely, so softly, so gently, so sweetly. Happiness is flowing in. Happiness is flowing in to me and my soulmate and my family and my friends. The erotic flying is flowing in. The spiritual flying is flowing in. The flying of health and beauty is flowing in. The flying of prosperity is flowing in. And you wish everything was perfect from the start. and everything is not perfect from the start, and everything becomes perfect through the journey, and everything becomes perfect because of the journey. Higher, even higher, into higher perceptions, higher, even higher, into higher vibrations, into higher levels of fulfillment and enjoyment, experiencing, learning, evolving, renewing, flowing together, in and out of the darkness, in and out of the light, in and out of disconnection, in and out of connection, in and out of the magic, in and out of the magical world, ebbing and flowing, balancing on the waves, preparing for each other, maturing for each other, so sensitive, so strong, so special, still on our path, always on our path, everything part of our path, higher, even higher up our path, flying higher, even higher, love energy, life energy. Happiness is flowing in. Happiness is flowing in to me and my soulmate and my family and my friends in Greece and the whole world. Thank you.
Never gets old. Never ever gets old. Alexandria, I love your flying series.
Well, I hope you don't mind the repetition because these poems take a long time to
No,
design.
I know they do. I mean, the graphics and then the words itself. But no, you know, I hear poets always saying that. I've recited this before. I say recite your poems 100 times. I mean, we listen to music and we hear it repetitively, and our favorite songs get stuck in our heads. So that's one way for poems to get stuck in our heads, is to keep hearing it. So don't ever apologize for repeating that beautiful series, because it's beyond meditative. It just to me, it almost just feels like it crawls into your DNA and invites you to just be in that moment. So I'm always appreciative of your voice, and it's your voice as well, right? It's just a perfect storm of creative blast. So well done. Give her another quick snap up, guys. Thank you so much. And yes, so all of you, leave your contact information in the chat. Angie, I invite you to download the chat and see the brilliant and beautiful comments that your fellow wordsmiths took the time to put in the chat with regards to your future and your poetry. So maybe later today you can open it up and just see what others have to say. Okay, up next, my friend Yanni. It is, I think, what, 11:12 where you are. So this is late for you tonight. So thank you for being here.
I just read all the comments. Thanks.
Oops. Sorry. Hold on a sec, Yanni. I know, and I was just muting because I was getting ready to have you on. Angie, unmute yourself and say what you were saying, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone for all the wonderful comments. I just read them.
Okay,
Amazing. Thanks very much for the support.
thank you. All right, Yanni, the floor is yours. Mm, mm. Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh, Yanni, Yanni, Yanni. Brilliant, brilliant work. This is another young woman I invite you guys to get to know if you haven't already. She's only been reciting not too long, but every time she does, she gets stronger and stronger and just better and better. And your words, you're a brilliant poet. That's all I can say. I've gotten to know her, and it's been a while since we need to do another video chat and get caught up, maybe share some of our newest stuff. But I always love listening to sharing your work, but then hearing you and you're just getting stronger in your recital. So keep it up. Well done. Well done. Give her another snap, guys, or a clap or a hug, whatever you want to do. But thank you, Yanni. Thank you for doing this. All right. To Dawn, to steal a line from Sandy from Cultivating Voices, I'm going to try my best to not to get into too deep a critique, and because it makes the show longer. But having said that, it's hard not to say anything when you come across brilliance. So, all right. This poet coming up is new to me. I've heard her recite, I think the first time was at Unmesh, one of our favorite Saturday venues to go to. And I just reached out to her and asked if she would come and join. So, and then maybe one day I'll feature her because I love her stuff. Anyway, guys, snap it up, put your hands together for Neymar.
Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm going to share two poems with you today. The first one is part of my newer collection. And the second one is from my book, which is being published on October the 3rd, available at Waterstones and Micah Press. So the first poem is called What Now? How should I now proceed, having bitterly swallowed and guiltily purged the butt ends of life's jabs and aggressions, when the river has shallowed after the baptism of deeds? Should I skip down the street, my feet barely touching the ground, the leash now finally severed, my skin worn and weathered, life's yearning run aground, bearing testament to my defeats, stationary, fusing with the couch, now binging on Netflix and box sets, simultaneously scrolling feeds, feeding on the lives others lead, drunken laughter and tears of regret, gorging my senses, so I don't while out. How then will my days be spent? Regurgitating the error of my ways, hindsight's smug whispers breathing heavily in my ear as economic crisis chokes the days, direction where none is evident. A valiant victory or the defeat I must concede, measuring the days in essential errands, the absence of time blurring the days of nothing to do, feeling the whole universe simmer like supper's stew, stirring galaxies with a wave of my hand, weathering the tides of change like a fallen leaf. Guffawing, is that it? Stripped of my vanities and desires, after wine-stained Afghan rugs with burn holes from hash nugs, having walked through the ice and the fire, unfrocked and disarmed, cupping the calm, dying nebulas in my palm, a heartbeat in transit. Thank you. And let me just bring up the second poem. The second poem is called Grand Union Canal. Crisp sunshine in October, the shadows maintain their cold and the open expanse embraces the light, bubbling flares of midsummer merriment. The billowing canal surface alive with musical grace, shimmying content beneath bridges meant for friendship and poo sticks, the lofty rumblings of M40 acoustics. Afternoon shadows predict long dark winters in heated abodes. A party of pall-bearing clouds furtively congregate overhead, the council of conclusion, summer's sighing diffusion, brisk blustery gusts setting the table for the winter spread. Islets of weeping willows wheezily whipping in the breeze, the snatched voices of autumn conversing on the air, circus-top barges that flow with the fun of the fair, al fresco dining clinking, leafy lament beneath the marquee. Feral foliage pushing back against the paved path, a doily thrill of malachite leaves that recalls family mallow pickings bountiful halls, prepped and seasoned with North African craft. The threat of winter bluntly invasive, urban hibernation in the wings, the furlong farewell summer sings, melodiously familiar and plaintive. Thank you.
Unmute, guys. Give her some love. Give us some love. Love your poetry. Love it. Am I saying your name correctly?
Naima.
Naima? Okay.
Yeah.
I have issues with names, so I already butcher one of my brothers that's going to come up later. So I want to make sure I ask correctly. So thank you so much. Thank you for holding space with us and sharing your beautiful penning. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right, and next, I think I met this poet in the Lime Square Poets open mic, and I just love listening to her poetry. She recites it in her native Gaelic, and then she reads it in English. And I always invite poets. Please don't feel that you cannot recite your poetry in your native tongue. I actually want to hear it in your native tongue. I really don't care if you recite it in English as well. I think as poets, we could still feel the vibe and the flow of poetry, even when we don't necessarily understand the word. But she does both. Anyway, I had to go on Google this morning to see how I could pronounce your name. So it said, pronounce it KT. But maybe you could tell us how you actually say it in Gaelic. But put your hands together all the way from Scotland for KT. Thank you. Okay. You sound good. You sound good. powerful piece. Well done. Yeah. And Ivanka, she has that way with her words and her presence. So well done. Thank you so much. Like I said, I just love listening to the Gaelic and then the English translation and the fire you bring to it. You know, it matches the red hair. So thank you. Snap it up for her, guys. Give us some love. And hopefully you'll be back in the future, because like I said, I love listening to you when I show up to Lime Square. So all right, up next, and the hits just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. You guys having fun? Yeah. What a great way to spend a Sunday morning, Sunday church service. All right, poetry is at the altar and we get to hear each other's words, and you're in for a treat. I didn't discover anything. I don't know why that word was at the tip of my tongue. I heard this poet probably a couple of months ago and was blown away then. And then I just heard her this past week. Can't remember which show. And your performances are you're just getting better. I'm gonna shut up. I'm just gonna simply say, put your hands together, snap it up for J. Rose Anna.
Hi, thank you for having me on. This poem is called Jupiter's Arms. Birmingham, and she just made the bus, and she pulled down another poster calling for an end to us, taking time to carefully scrunch it up and place it neatly in the trash, because the bus won't wait and she has to dash. And she grips too tightly to the bus standing rail, and every unfilled pothole is a remaindered frail. Hungry and pale, she's desperately frail, scrunched up tissue in the other hand, tears and eyeliner to the world that she's damned. She has this long trip home from the medical centre. Her plea for help rejected again, gender dysphoria remains. Dejected, her doctor shrugs their shoulder, ejected, earth turns hard and its gravity holds her. And she's subjected, she's caught in the stare of the glare. Oh, to be unaware and to be anywhere but there, but where, oh, where do people actually care? And out the grimy bus window, she peeks up high. She sees the setting sun and the blood-red sky, and through crimson tears, she feels the glow of a star. No, it's Jupiter, and no one else knows. But gravity quickly grips her as she plays back again and again in her head the crap the professionals told her, unfold her colder as she gets older, and her hopes and dreams are consigned to a dusty old medical folder. Trapped in a world of domestic abuse, hers are the least valued views, stuck between two warring factions. This binary world, you see, doesn't allow fractions. Her rent is due, electricity too, and there's no money left in the world. Screw you, she'll work till 2. Because Mars and Venus are constantly at war, always one has less and demanding more, and lonely Mercury is shown the door. Only seeing key, but she knows her core. So what's it all for? And another bump in the pothole road taking hold, and it's getting old, she's getting cold, one day less bold. Just be told your life is sold, throw in your chips and fold. And Blue-Green Planet is an aptly named, throwing down chips in a poker game. Spin the wheel on life's roulette, choose your side and place your bet, because choosing sides is a planetary game. Mutual respect doesn't conform to the norm. DeForesting the third conform to the norm. Will she ever find safety in the eye of the storm? Clinging to a rock that doesn't want her, accept everything she has, is that something to ponder? And she reaches high above the clouds, above the sneers and hateful crowds, above the sneers. Jupiter, I call to you, God of heaven and sky, deafen me with your thunder so I no longer hear me cry. Blind me with your lightning, I give it freely if it means others receive enlightening. And dreams, such dreams of songs unsung, interset with nightmares of reality and photographs unhung. Under these potholes of life she's flung in the bus. Under the bus, that's where she belongs. That's what they say, using medical terminology in a carefully crafted way, seeping through the peace of her inner calm. I have charm, she says. I have charm. Do no harm. That was your oath. And through asteroid belt she wanders alone, dusty shards of rock, and there's no place for home. In Jupiter's gravity she holds on to hope. In Earth's shadow she feels the tug of the rope. Somewhere in this vast, splendid cosmos, someplace must want her, or at least tolerate her. Make her feel something again. With no agenda she might stand tall. The cosmos is infinite, but here in this place at this time, minds are so infinitesimally small. And her back's against the wall, because if she doesn't find the rent, she'll fall, and there's no one to call at all. If Jupiter is the biggest in the system, perhaps there's hope for less resistance. As she rings the bell, the bus skips her stop. With an empty purse, she hurries past the shop. Mars spits, Venus smirks as they hurry past. It's getting late, she starts work again at 8. 2 shifts per day is her lifelong fate. Her fate is hate, and their hate has mates, and fate's hate is not the only thing on her plate. Stand up for yourself, they say. It's just a domestic, it'll blow away. But Jupiter's glow shines bright tonight. It's a beacon of hope against the starlight. She traipses past a homeless wanderer, sitting in a puddle of their own piss, and she pushes her hands deep into her pockets. Her last few coins, it's come to this. Is that all you got, love? That's not enough to get me a coffee. I'm so sorry, she says, apologizing for having nothing. And gravity's rope pulls a little tauter. She's become a lamb to the slaughter. Anyway, thank you, mate. You're a gentleman. Yeah, she certainly is. So what, if anything, has life taught her? Earth wanted a son, not a daughter. Now a distance, she's the lamb to the slaughter, and gravity's rope pulls ever tauter. But Jupiter's glow catches her eye, reminds her to cling on to hope and try, and perhaps one day she might set out for there. Aboard a rocket ship where life might actually be fair. Here, who cares? But up there, does she even dare? 3 days now, not a meal in sight. Ironic for a 0-hour waitress serving food all night. Between you and me, I think she's losing this fight. In the distance, the sound of sirens and alarms. Foreshadowing perhaps that tonight could be the night. Falling, she calls for Jupiter's arms. But a moment in the nightlight, a stranger in the streetlight holds out their welcoming arms. Let me help you, they say. I will do you no harm. Thank you very much.
Oh my word. Yet again.
Wow.
J. Rose.
That was some powerful storytelling.
J. Rose.
That was some powerful storytelling. That was some beautiful storytelling. Wow.
It's not just the words, it's the performance, it's the passion.
Yes, yes.
It's
The
everything.
story
Yes.
of using the universe as a
Yes.
metaphor for life, and
Such a delight.
So many
there's
levels
a lot of
poetry.
oh, jeez.
There's no element of that was not brilliant. Oh my.
Are you going to do poetry slams, or have you? Or
I've got one coming up in September.
okay,
And it's in England. It's the Cheltenham Poet. It's called Peaky Barders, and it'd be my first proper one.
well, I heard the other day you only just started reciting, and it's like you were meant to do this.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much.
Who you are, who you choose to be, you were meant to do this and be you. Fully be you. Damn the torpedoes, because oh my gosh, you're a talent. My Lord. That was epic. Well done. Well done. And all the other poets, we have to stop going, oh, how can I follow that? Do you? Because this is what, when I see you, Jay, that's what the reminder is. Do you? Right? So thank you for living boldly, and thank you for being courageous and navigating through all the nonsense to be you. Because that was, I just love listening to you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Give us some love, guys, before we move on. Give us some love. Give us some love. That was beautiful, beautiful. Excuse me. Okay. From one next amazing artist to the next, from originally from Jamaica, now from the island, not the island, the country of Germany. Our friend and first time reciter here at the recital, Jennifer. The mic is yours, Jen. Oh, Jennifer, you have such powerful poetry. Love your words. Thank you. Unmute, guys. Give us some love. Give them some love. Snap it up.
Yes.
Yes, please do. You know,
Always tell
for
a story.
for a
That's
lot of
beautiful.
us storytellers, this is not our day job. So it takes a lot of courage to come and share, even if it's online. So I always encourage, please unmute and snap it up and give them love, and then unmute and then mute yourself. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for coming. First time reciting here at the recital. So I'm really grateful for you being, and once again, meeting you, hearing you at Unmesh's open mic show Saturday mornings. That's how I came about. That's why I love these shows, because it gives us an opportunity to really connect with people from around the world and cross-pollinate. So thank you for honoring us this morning. And the smile, look at the smile. Oh, my sister, well done, well done. All right, up next, like I said, the hits just keep rolling on, and I keep calling him the professor. I still don't know if he really likes it, but I think he does. I think he does, because he smiles every time I say it. He tries to tell me he's not a professor, but the reason why I say that, because especially in the world we live in today, I think our teachers need to feel more love, whether you're teaching in primary or high school or in the hallowed halls of academia. We seem to have lost. We've lost some respect for teachers, and so this is my way of honoring. I know there's another teacher here in the room that I will mention more about when she comes up, but all the way from the British Isles, I call him lovingly the professor, the man that just, his words are like that quilt on a pen. It just flows, and it leads you into this meditative trance that just goes, okay, take me wherever you want to take me. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Ian.
Yeah, I'm just dripping off the edge of the chair now after that introduction, Rolf. I'm smiling because I tell everybody that you're Moses. You've got that biblical look about, and when you speak as well, Rolf, you have that biblical aura around you. Yeah. Okay, right. This first one was earlier in the year, just at sort of the beginning of spring, and I was walking around town. It was one of those days, sun was shining, and when you caught it, it was starting to feel warm, except with this kind of gusty wind blowing. And when you're in that, it kind of chilled you. And if you were lucky, you could find a sheltered spot and you could feel the warmth of the sun. And then later, I was sitting in the coffee shop, my usual spot, staring out the window, watching this bit of cigarette wrapper, cellophane wrapper, being kind of blown gradually across the pavement and then stop and start. So of course, that kind of occupied my magpie brain for about 5 minutes. And of course, I had to write a poem about it. And it's a sonnet number 50, to a feckless wind. A cast-off remnant of cigarette wrapping scrapes across the pavement outside Cafe Nero's. The sun is warming when allowed to stand still, but this feckless wind picks up here and there with a mean-spirited chill, blowing grits in your eye, toying playfully with that cellophane wrapper, which is slave to the spiteful whims of any passing breeze. Thanks. So that's that one. And second one is, I'm not sure if you know, I've come across Japanese novelist Haruki Murakami. He writes sort of rather strange twists in his plots, quite often it's quite sort of surreal settings that his characters get into. And this one was, I was reading this novel, about 3 years old now, 1Q84, in which the protagonist somehow slips into this parallel world. It's exactly the same as the normal world, except you notice there's 2 moons instead of 1 in the sky. So I try to imagine, and in fact the poem is called Imagine a World with 2 Moons. There's a bit of a twist at the end, I think. Imagine looking up at the sky, night sky, to see not one, but two moons hanging there in plain view against the cold black of midnight, star-pricked and spangled right there in your line of sight. A treat for the dull, jaded eye, but a little disconcerting, truth be told, to see there with the old familiar yellow orb, its shadowy sister tinted with a blue-greenish hue, peeping out behind its older sibling satellite. Imagine your senses trembling with excitement, bemused by this peculiar vision in front of you. A parallel universe lurking like dark matter, suddenly manifesting in your convulsed mind. A little unsteady at first, the wonder of it, the only one aware standing there staring up at this unique event. What would you think? What could you say? Would they look upon you sadly in a strange way, thinking you strangely mad? And as you sway in awe, eyes wide, your senses stilled and numbed, would you feel a quiver deep inside? Goosebumps pricked by a creeping chill, caught in some alien grip, but with passing time, novelty wears thin, becomes passé, then reality begins to bite. You sense a shift in the push and pull of not two, but now three bodies conjoined in conjugal motion, in rhythmic synchronicity. And as the first wave of nausea slides by, the gears of a new reality begin to grind, where you find yourself floating, a castaway on the next rising tide. Thanks.
So mute, guys. Thank you so much, Ian. Like I said, I just, I don't know.
Stuff metaphor.
The word silk comes to mind when I hear your readings, and you know, your words are just so powerful, but the voice, the delivery, you kind of remind me of Alexandra in that regards. It's meditative, but yet you don't want to fall asleep. You want to stay present with it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Give him another snap, guys. Hug him up, give him up. For all you poets that have come before, please look in the chat and read the beautiful comments that your fellow poets and wordsmiths are saying about you. And for those of you who have read before, if you have your information about new books, social media, please put it in the chat. And I invite you all to download the chat before you leave, so you can go back and revisit comments, and even if there are critiques with regards, because everything is said with love, and it's about our growing and development. So, all right, up next is the statesman of us poets. I think I ran into Doc in one of the first open mics that I attended on Zoom, and just his wisdom is just brilliant. So I'm going to shut up because I want him to have as much time, and I'm hoping he reads a couple of the pieces that I think we need to hear here in Canada as well. Anyway, up next to the mic, our friend Doc Jennings. Doc, mic is yours, sir. into the unknown in the midst of knowledge of self. So needed today. When I say
Very
wisdom,
powerful.
Doc.
oh, Doc, yes,
Doc. They were beautiful words.
yes, powerful, strong words, Doc. Thank you so much for the reminder. Because I guess at the end of the day, it's all unknown for all of us. We don't know. And the stronger we are with self, the more hopefully we can embrace each other, even when we disagree in opinions and thoughts and ideas. That's the beauty of life, is to not always have the same thoughts and ideas, but to be able to listen with respect and acceptance. I may not agree with your viewpoint, but I accept it is your viewpoint and you're entitled to that. And let's talk so we can understand and find that middle ground. So yeah, you're a man of wisdom, my friend, and the universe is a template of how to live and follow her lead, as opposed to thinking we always know best. So that's a reminder I get from you. So I thank you for that gift, my friend. I thank you. Oh, please do, Doc. You go right ahead. Unmute, guys. Wisdom.
Wow.
Wisdom.
Poems are always so soothing.
A lot of wisdom on a Sunday.
Cosmic poet, cosmic, whatever word you want.
Yes.
Yeah. There's still hope for us then, Doc.
Don't depress us, please. Just
still
when I thought I
hope
was
for us.
getting close.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's no timeline, no time frame. You get it when you get it. You get it when you get it. So anyway, my friend, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Thank you for that gift. Woo! 2.5 hours. Put it in the chat, Doc, if people want to show up. I'll be there. You sent it to me yesterday, but I'll let you put it in. So, all right. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate that. All right. Up next is the other teacher in the room. She lives on the island of Saint Martin, but originally, I believe she's from Toronto. Well, I don't know if she's really from Toronto. She lived in Toronto for years. So once again, like I said, I love spotlighting teachers because teachers have always been dear to me. Teachers were like my superheroes when I was younger, particularly when I was going through a lot of family drama in my homes in my early youth days in Brooklyn. So I have a soft spot for teachers. So anyway, guys, from all the way from the island of Saint Martin, and the author of the newly released book, Full Moon Fire, and she just had her premiere last week, and we're doing a special show of Zoom poets for another launch for her. Anyway, put your hands together for Marianne.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Raul, and thank you very much, friends around the world. I'd like to share with you, with this particular group again today, I'd like to share the poems that I brought to the first Home is the Heart session last week. I appreciate your comments and I would love further on them. The first of these poems is loosely inspired by my grandmother, who immigrated to the United States in 1902 at the age of 14. It's called A Country Called Home. She dreamed of a country called home, where every chair has nearly 4 legs. If you sit so still, you can tuck your feet beneath you and build a nest. She dreamed of a country called home, where you can tent your cotton gown around your bent knees and lean forward to sprinkle all the sugar in the world on your soft, warm mustard sandwich. She dreamed of a country called home, where the uncles know their place and keep their hands to themselves. And the sharp-tongued aunts know nothing ever really is all your fault. She dreamed of a country called home, where the blanket is ragged comfort for baby Maria, and the bed is all yours sometimes. Anyway, there's always room for you, corrugated between Nana and the rain. She dreamed of a country called home, where you wear your sister's plaid skirt until it falls in threadbare ribbons, and only then are its pleats braided into rugs or shipped in coarse bundles back to unknown houses. She dreamed of a country called home, where you slide your feet into shoes your brother wore only once, so you don't need to probe the stove for ash to rub them down before the walk to church. She dreamed of a country called home. She dreamed so long and so hard that dreams seeped from beneath her skin. She showered her daughters with her visions, and they bathed in her sight. She dreamed of a country called home, where you sit on the good cushions, ankles crossed, as a gloved hand offers a glass polished with French linen, and you say, "No, thank you, I have plenty." She dreamed of a country called home. Homeward bound, she is dreaming still. Thank you. And the second poem, as some of you will have learned the other night, is inspired by, frankly, a grisly incident of domestic violence here on the island of St. Martin, in which a young carnival queen immersed in a love triangle was gravely injured, and she is fighting for her life today. The poem is Never Forget. You begged me to tattoo your name across my heart so I would never forget you. When I refused, with one stroke across my throat, you etched your rage into that same heart, hands, thighs, and even ankles. You left me, disfigured morsel of flesh, to the pit bulls behind the morgue, where my rust-red fingers splayed your name across the door of a hearse you thought would bear my initials, so they would not forget you. You drove my car across the border while my knees and elbows frayed as they ground against the asphalt strewn with once sequined dreams, to the hospital just across the grassy median. So you will never forget the morning I, your daughter's mother, refused to die.
That's yeah, it's a powerful tribute to a young woman fighting for her life that was attacked, and unfortunately still happens to so many women around the world. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, you know, job of a poet. I know you were a journalist before, but it's the job of a poet to use our craft to not just talk about rainbows and butterflies, but to talk about real life and things that are going on, you know. Just like when Katie, was inspired to write that piece on abortion and women's rights, and yeah. And like I said, I don't care if you agree with the politics as some poets whose political slant I don't agree with, but their poetry I embrace. I embrace their commitment and passion to their thoughts and their thinking and what they believe. That's part of the beauty as well, and hopefully that sparks conversation. And thank you for coming down the road to support Angie tonight from the island just above. Well, not just above, but above
my neighbor down island.
Neighbor down island. So thank you. Give it a snap it up for Marianne, and look out. Some of you in this room will be there on September 9th when we help her further launch her new book, her latest first venture of poetry, and so stay tuned for that if you want to attend and just support her. I'll be posting that on my Facebook page. So, all right, let's continue. We're almost at the end, guys. Next up is a first-time poet to the corner. I saw her at another poetry site, I don't know, a little while ago, and I really liked her flow, and I also really liked her name, but poetry definitely backed it up. So I will call to the mic. Nushka, you still here? I am beautiful fire.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Beautiful fire. So the mic is yours, my friend.
Thank you so much. I thank you each for this opportunity and for everybody who has shared thus far. I have a few pieces that I would like to read for you all. This first one is called Play Us a Song. Since we're on our way, play us a song from our radio, a song of victory with fiery beats of triumphant abilities. On our way, we'll play songs of love, light, and everything nice, with blazes for treble, with all refinement in sight. Sights just right, no plights on our way. Play us a song from our radio, a tune of refinery after repeated agility of fuel-laced trajectories towards gold victories. Play us a song from our radio of solidarity, where we're one with disc jockeys that don't mind playing repeats of divine destinies, of those who lived beautifully, victory after victory. Play us a song from our radio. We're on the way, we'll let it play respectfully. So that was piece number 1, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And I have another piece called Crackling Pops. Awakened by the crackling pops of the fire we set last night. Victory dance to the fire, victory dance to the pops. A melodious rhythm, a sound for all to hear. All rebels to our goodness were burned up in the fire that blazed through the night, leaving a canister empty and nothing but refinement behind. A refinement so pure, shining brighter than the highest of carats of gold. Victory dance to the fire, victory dance to the pops. It was the purity for us, the eyes within that twinkled on out as we danced to our reflection, intimately, lovingly, passionately. It was the fire for us. Victory dance to the fire, victory dance to the pops. Thank you. So those are the two pieces I wanted to present to you all. I hope you all got something from it and were able to enjoy them.
We definitely did. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I am Beautiful Fire.
Thank you.
How'd you come up with that name?
Actually, my godparents, you know, we all go through a process where we have to shed the old and come onto the new. So my godparents, who helped baptize me in the newness of everything we were created to be, they started calling me the fire starter. I came into these spaces where I was in a community, and they started calling me the fire starter. And then my godmother, she started calling me Beautiful Fire. And what ended up happening was I was like, this is so beautiful, because when you get new life and when your life is redirected towards trueness, then you have to take on a new name. So of course, I respect and honor my earthly parents who named me Nushka, and that name actually means grace and favor, and it's carried me for a very long time. Yet Beautiful Fire is just something that I'm moving forward in, because it encompasses everything that I desire to live out and breathe and be. So I'm thankful to my spiritual mentors who were able to see that, you know, I'm full of that warmth and that passion and everything that fire is, which is refinement, purification, passion, all of those things that fire signifies is what I came into their space with. And I took on the name, and I'm glad that I was given it.
Wow, it's a fitting name. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
my first time I saw you in that open mic in New York, I was just like, okay, I want to know this young woman. So
thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you who have commented, who support. And the @ is my Instagram, and you can find me at Beautiful Fire on all platforms. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all of these different spaces.
you keep breathing fire in Miami, Florida, and let it permeate. It's like a ripple, it ripples throughout the world, because we need powerful voices in this world. And we don't need powerful voices of one voice. We just need powerful voices that can embrace other voices. And I think when we can embrace other voices and other people's creativity and flow, and not feel like you're somehow in competition, we stand a chance of having different conversations. So
right, there is no competition. It's all about unity. It's about community. It's about the culture of where we're all from, which is a beautiful heavenly place. So I appreciate you all.
Well said, sister. Thank you. Good. Snap it up for her one more time, guys. And I hope you will return. I definitely want to do more stuff with you in the future. I think you're brilliant. So
I look forward to it. Thank you so much. Likewise.
You're welcome. And bouncing from one brilliant poet to the next, this young man, I will call him a young man because I know I'm older than he. He may not agree, but he's a poet, photographer, caregiver. You know, his works are in print. You can find him online in journals. I think he's been published in many anthologies. But ultimately, he is a poet, and I think he's a brilliant one. So I'm going to shut up and let him have as much time so he could share his brilliance with us. Snap it up, put your hands together for Thomas. You have one more, right, Thomas? Just the two? Really? Well, I'm being selfish right now. I would like one more if you don't mind. Can I ask you something before you do this? Because I know you kayak. Does that play a role in the poetry that you write? That kayaking, outdoorsy stuff that you do? Like, is that a place that you go for to be invisible? Because that's what I get from your poetry. I remember the first time I heard you in the Tuesday morning early on Tuesday, just Lucian and his sister. Sorry, just lost my mind. But that's what I get. You write like an observer. So anyway, share your last one. I just love it. Thank you. Oh, looks like he froze. It's funny, that was his concern about being here this morning. And even for us, Marianne, when we're doing the 9th, he was concerned about his cover. All right, well, Thomas, can you start again because you froze? Yeah. Instead of God, I will say Thomas. Unmute, guys. Give him some love. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Well
Very
done.
nice. Very
Oh,
beautiful words.
Nice work, Thomas.
You say the you don't take the lot there. Beautiful.
yeah. Brilliant words. Brilliant words from the observer. Yeah. Your poetry is beautiful, my friend. Your prose writings, whatever we want to call it, because sometimes I don't know. I think sometimes poetry feels too restricting for some of the pieces that we all write, and I think we can all feel that way about ourselves. So, thank you for that. I look forward to hearing more of your stuff. I always do, actually. I always do. So, thank you, brother. Thank you. And we're getting close, guys, to the end. So, for those of you that have stuck it out, and for those of you that have been in the audience, thank you so much. We'll go from one brilliant to another brilliance. This is a young man I came into contact with not too long ago either. And we've been slowly getting to know each other. I'm hoping today is the day that I don't butcher his name. I have no idea why I have a problem with saying his name, but we will attempt. We will attempt to not butcher it. He is by far not just the smile, but the wording, the phrasing, the way he performs it. You feel almost every ounce of his DNA in his words and when he spits these words. So I'm going to shut up and just say, snap it up, put your hands together for my friend, Song Konto.
Yes. Oh, hallelujah. We're good. You got it right. Thank you, everyone.
I love you, brother. Have a good
Thank
set.
you. Thank you for your words. Very healing. And thank you for always waking up to write magic like the words that you write. Thank you so much. The poem that I'm going to perform, it started off as we grow older, but now as I've rewritten it, the title is now Surviving Erasure. As we grow older, we get to know things more intimately. Like burn victims whose fingers linger over photographs saved from the fires, whose flames, though twice higher, only in memory, could never scorch their remembered skin. Images that say, here's the evidence, the texture of how we survived erasure. We measure time as if each second carries desires and mysteries that can only be known by feeling a little deeper, running our fingers over the ashes of the phoenixes that burned down where we once stood, thinking that maybe we could rummage in those ashes and perhaps salvage a feather as a keepsake. The one that rejected the inferno and ejected itself. Reclaim it and weigh it in our hair and say, even though this belongs to the person I burned down, I weigh it next to my crown. Proof that I did not learn to fly today. I survived erasure. As we grow older, it becomes less about why the sun rises, but that the surprise lies in how the sun reminds us of the resilience and resplendence of our own spirit. That we emerge from our dreams like jet streams into another day, collecting in our own mouths like spring water, baptizing the lips of eardrums with kisses of poems and hymns. We know that the moon knows of the moon dust in our eyes, which glows when comets and shooting stars light up the sky. And we are once more alive with possibility. Becoming fireworks till infinity, we become masters of both joy and tragedy and can emerge from long silences with a renewed love affair with our own native tongues. Those that survived erasure. We know that everything slung on one's back for too long needs to be placed down and left right there on the ground. That favorite songs should be played once too often, so that should our houses be burned down, we have immortalized the sound of music. We spend our days as children erasing concepts we don't even understand. I mean, how many of us still use erasers up to this day? You know, the ones at the end of that pencil full with lead, like our brothers laying dead in the streets, the ones who didn't survive erasure. And we become accustomed to having been alive this long, longer than Park, longer than Big, longer than ancient trees. We learn that trees dress up in colors in the fall as if for a prom dance, and that our own breath is a homecoming breath of itself from the world's fires, and that each morsel of air clears the smoke like a mother's hand. We understand that not all things can possibly be remembered, but that faces etched in the flesh of our memories canvas are like a compass back to the worlds we have lived, the lives we have touched, and that every brush stroke is a moment in time. The beauty of knowing we are here. We have been painted in place. Every coat of skin, every coat of our being. We are here because we belong in the picture. We belong in the photograph. And as we run our fingers on it, we become comforted by the defiance that for all the things that tried to burn us alive, we still survived erasure. We survived erasure. We survived erasure. Thank you.
I'm going to be like Thomas and just
Wow.
sit there and observe, because I don't know what the heck you're supposed to say.
There is
Oh,
nothing
for
to
such
say.
a young one, my friend, you have a breadth and depth of knowledge and wisdom and of this world that's beyond your years. Beyond your years. Your poetry, or no, no. Like I said, poetry is becoming too small a word, but it's brilliant. And then the performance, and then it seems like, do you ever not smile when you're performing? Because it's like you're spitting these words through those gates of pearly whites, you know? It's just brilliant, brilliant. Could listen to you all day. Thank you for honoring us, brother. Thank you. Snap it up, guys. Give him some love. Give him some love.
Buonissimi Calli son ponto. Yeah, baby.
I think by the time you get to Janning's age, Zonconto, you have at least 3 doctorates or PhD.
Yeah, at least, Ian, at least. Well done, brother. Well done. All right, we're bouncing from brilliance to brilliance. This young man, this silvered hair young man, I met early on in this Zoom venture of poetry, and he's befriended me, and he shares everything that I seem to put out and have nothing but kind words. And I shake my head a lot of time in regards to how he regards me, but the feeling is very mutual because I have great respect for him. Just the little I know of him, and I've had the opportunity to have a video chat with him and have a coffee and get to know him, and the breadth of experience and the things this man has done, and now his focus on, like, I think all of us just trying to share our words to inspire others to do the same. So I think he leads by example. I will just simply say, I'd like to bring to the mic my friend and my brother, Richard.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's always so magical, so miraculous to share space with you. These folks who've come together to share their hearts, their vision. It's so inspiring and such a great antidote to the bad news that we sometimes hear out in the world. I want to take you up and I want to take you down, but I'm going to start down first. I want to talk to you about our rivers. They're going missing. We have mistreated our planet so badly. But let me offer you this. It's called The River Shrank. You know, because it's a surprise. The river shrank. We've been warning. A certain sure sign of global warming. Countries instant leap into action. You might think that such an idea might finally get some traction. Global warming now endangers transportation hubs. Oh, wow. These rivers, strangers, have now gone missing in the heat. And double the danger, the lakes have gone missing, dusting yards and feet. Water recedes, revealing bones of times and places long lost, unknown. Where the rivers go? Where will they take when they can no longer nourish oceans and lakes? When pollution becomes a concentrate? Even fish are saying, you got to stop. It's a flop. We can't wait. Yes, all that river traffic will go fluey, but that loss and cost, the stores, the soaring prices, to be sure, will quite brittly bully. Don't look around or even try to see what fruit this will bear from what kind of awful tree flows, not like dust bunnies hop crust from this dry riverbed, until, my friend, by that time the dryness, the musty, blustery whiness is quite over your head, I said. There may yet be time. Take heed, have courage, don't whine, unless these fellow travelers, these planetary desperationary unravelers, don't finally undeniably change the course of our carriage. Let's not disparage the rivers. And now, in a completely different direction, I want you to come with me out into space. Okay? And this is called Deep in Space. You may have heard we have a new telescope up there. Deep into space. Deep into space and back in time. It seems somehow to almost rhyme. We've got a new look, deeper yet. It's almost as if we somehow forget how much is out there. the great cosmic comic book, as we stare at our feet, almost stuck in the soil of mired and muck, as if that were there the extent of our luck. Yet, sometimes as we scan the skies, we can definitely startle and open our eyes that we might to a higher shelf aspire. Instead of dropping the flopping mire, that first deep field shot of S-Max 0723, known to most as the starry stuff we see, a near infrared view like a speck of sand at an arm's length viewed, wherewith our clumsy techno artifacts, our fresh wisdom's vision renewed, as we check these tracks, a million galaxies spinning so far off, Webb's NERCAM scanning across the broad frequency gathers up the philosophical feast, this artist cup we glimpse 4.6 billion years ago, an evening's entertainment in sweet lovers' afterglow. The galactic cluster makes a gravitational lens so that we might wave at our ancient distant friends by the James Webb Telescope. Superstitious. Please don't look. Thank you all for the wonderful work that you do.
Just two today, my friend?
Just two.
Just two. I love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for the reminder, Rick, that we do need to not just take care of the planet, but I always believe the planet is just a reflection of how we take care of each other. So if we're abusing the planet, it's because we've been abusing each other. So thank you for that reminder, constant reminder.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, brother.
Thank you. Guys, clap it up for Brother Rick again. Can never have enough of his words and poetry to remind us of what matters most in life. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. So we're all brothers and sisters under the sun. So, all right. And now there was one, and I was going to bring these guys on earlier, and then they asked to go last because, they seem to understand flow better than I do because it makes sense. They were a past feature, and it really warms my heart to see a number of people that were featured that have come back to support other features like Leslie in England. And we have our next month feature in the house as well. Skyza Lamette, my friend Kelly, will be featuring her next month. So please come back for her. You want to be roused in emotions and feelings, come and listen to her next month. She'll rock your world in that regard. But I am going to let Kinfolk have the last word. So I'm going to say thank you all for coming. Thank you all for supporting the Inspired Poetry Corner. I want to give a big hug and shout out to our feature of this month. Angie, you did a bang up job. You were fabulous in your first feature. And not just, it's just your words and the reading and the way you read it and just the truth. And again, you're like Thomas, I feel like you're an observer reading about life and reminding us of what matters most. So thank you for that. And poets, writers, wordsmiths, thank you for sharing your gifts. And I encourage you to keep writing. For those that showed up just to be the audience and support, thank you for coming out and support. I try to pop into as many rooms as I can. Sometimes not to recite, just show up, because I think it's important that we show up for each other. So I appreciate you coming here today. I know my new friend Taki's from all the way from Japan is in the room. It's well after midnight, but I thought he would only be here for a second, but he's sticking around. My friend Lorraine from the Bronx Book Fair, I saw she was in the room. So I just want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for attending. And we will see you next month. And I think it's fitting that we can ask our friends Kinfolk who's very much about Ubuntu. I am because you are, and we are a global village. And it takes a village not to raise a child, it takes a village to raise a village. And we get to help live and do this together, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. That's what makes us human. And I think we're doing more good and beautiful regardless of what the times are telling us. I'm going to still trust in our humanity. So I thank you all for being here. Thank you for spending Sunday morning, at least in my world, Sunday morning, now Sunday afternoon. And kinfolk, Dia and Trophy, I'll ask you, can you take us home with your beautiful rendition of life? Oh, thank you, kinfolk. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bravo,
That was
bravo.
powerful. Oh, kinfolk.
Mm.
Siyabonga.
I got goddess bumps flying all over me right now. To think that I got to live and breathe in close proximity of these two and others like them when I lived in Kelowna. So every time I see you and hear you, I feel like I'm home, right? And part of me is envious because I know the community and I know you guys are performing more and they're getting to take you in and yeah. Thank you for honoring us again. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate the kind words. And like I said to Angie earlier, all I did was open a door for you, my friend. You guys had to walk through and be yourselves and let the world see you. I just opened a door. That's it. So I appreciate the praise and the kindness, but you're the ones that are doing it. You're the ones that are shining brightly. You know, you're the one that's getting out of your own way and allowing things to flow and having the courage to ask and embrace people for who they are, despite all the history and the harshness. So kudos to you for enriching my life. Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Yes, sir. Thank you for those words. And Zumkonto, I remember hearing that piece, and yeah, and like that's why I said the words I said about him. But I feel the same way about all the poets that were here today. You know, Thomas and and Mary Ann and Angie and Jennifer and even the ones that we didn't get to hear tonight, like TA and that just came to support. So I just want to say thank you all. And look, be gentle with yourself so you can be gentle with someone else. I invite you to walk this walk with love and acceptance, regardless of our politics and how we look at the world. We're human. We're getting to do this together. And sometimes it's harsh, very harsh. But we're still getting to do this together because we're underneath this big canopy this big blue sky that we all get to share and breathe this air. This is why I love Ubuntu. I am because you are. I don't do this by myself, and I don't walk on this planet by myself. I love you all. Whether we agree or not, I love you because we are human. And it's time for us to jump into the new evolution of human 2.0 and learn from what we've done and show our true potential, because inside, I believe us all inside, we want the best for each other. I truly believe that. And I don't care about pigmentation anymore. All I see is my fellow human beings whose heart beats like mine. So I love you all. Thank you for your continued support. And thank you for supporting the Inspired Poetry Corner. Until next month, be well, stay strong, seize the moment.